All right. I believe we are live on multiple platforms. We're live on Facebook in multiple channels. We're live on LinkedIn and we're live on TikTok. So, LinkedIn is a bit of a new one. So, those of you that are joining us live on LinkedIn, you may need to chat with us somewhere else. And of course, we're also on YouTube as well. So, now that I mentioned them all the algorithms are likely just going to tell everybody to come and watch us on their own platform. That's the way it should work, right? Apologies for last night. I had to make an emergency trip, so I did. The roads were fine. They are not now. I know a couple of guys were out, like Jesse Lewis was out driving to a gig tonight and made it. So that's good. But I tell you, it's a nasty storm that's out there, and it's supposed to be done probably in about an hour and a half, and then I can go out and spend the next 3 hours moving snow because that's just the way it works here. Speaking of guys that are on the move, welcome my co-host, Mr. Brian Bay. There he is.
Sean, good to see you, man.
Yeah. So I talked about my weather. What's your weather?
Biblical. So if you guys haven't heard, the Pacific Northwest is doing its finest rendition and identifying as Atlantis in parts. So we've had some really crazy heavy rains. It's been warm in the mountains, so snow is not falling. It's actually falling downhill. And we've gotten just some record floods. So we had a little bit of a reprieve from some good weather on Saturday and Sunday. So things have receded a little bit in parts. And then a couple of levee breaks from the White River. So, parts of East King County, on the east side of the I-5 corridor, it just flash flooding, middle of the night type stuff. So a lot of devastation has been going on. The fire crews have been amazing. Swiftwater rescue guys, just absolutely top notch. And, I'm just going to call a rainy day in Seattle, a rainy day in Seattle, despite traffic cones, caution tape, road closed signs in plain English. There are idiots that are still driving around, and we actually had a fatality. I think just yesterday or the day before, somebody went off the road where they should have turned, and no es bueno. So, hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to everybody who's been affected. I feel fortunate that I'm on high ground. Where I'm at, it's just sort of a plateau that even if it's 100, 150 feet above all the floodwaters, that's awesome. So I was talking to Mom the other night, and she goes, she's doing the mom thing. And she's like, well, do you have just an emergency, go bag or something like that? And I was like, Mom, if the floodwaters are going to come up a couple 100 feet to where I need to get out of town, I'm looking for the second coming of the ark, and we're going to get right with Jesus.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But
my mom was the same way, and my sister too. When I said I was making the trip last night, it was, well, watch for the roads. The roads were fine. They were better than they were driving in the day yesterday. Not so much now. So,
it's not to go like on a political rant or anything, but about 30 up until about 30 years ago, a lot of wait, back up. Nature doing its thing. The rivers are fed by the glaciers in the area,
right?
So with that brings sediment and gravel. And up until about 30 years ago, there would be gravel harvesting. So when you needed to reinforce the levees, you needed gravel for doing the aggregate for asphalt and paving and things like that. It was cost effective to do that. You're also digging down the river channels. You're making room for the fish. And then somebody in their infinite wisdom said something salmon, and we can't do that. So instead of regulating and putting safeguards and stuff that are in place. They just went, no, we're not doing that anymore. So the settlement comes in, and then lo and behold, oh my goodness, a river runs through it. But yeah, it's the cool thing is when stuff like this happens, you really get to see some wonderful, wonderful acts of humanity. One of the local general aviation airports that's been here for 100 and something years. It's get your airplanes to high ground, the fairgrounds, and people just saying, hey, we have space in our pastures. We have shelter for your horses, your cows. Everybody's just been coming together, which is amazing. You really like to see that. You just wish you weren't seeing it under tragic conditions. But yeah, Stacy, the 100-mile-an-hour plus winds, it was, fortunately where I'm at, you've got a lot of trees and kind of some hills and stuff up and down, from the coast and everything. But yeah, it was just ripping through there.
Yeah. And of course, Scott says he's got absolutely excellent weather down in Texas.
Well, Scott got his wish for his birthday. So everybody absolutely bombard Scott with birthday wishes from yesterday, and belated, of course, he'll love it just the same. But yeah, we're glad to hear you're doing well, Scott.
All right.
So we have a guest tonight.
We do, and we should probably set this up by saying this. This is
kind of a special episode tonight.
What's that?
Kind of a special episode tonight.
Yeah, it's a special episode. This is about the Performing Hypnosis Summit, because this is not a regular night. I think we used to be on Thursday nights at some point in the past. I mean, Jim.
Oh, it was another. Yeah, that was before Jim.
Yeah.
So we may have somebody drop in later on. # foreshadowing. But
yeah, he knows who he is, so he's got the link. Drop in whenever he wants.
Yeah.
But with the Performing Hypnosis Summit, a few things that we do want to make sure that everybody considers. If you are coming and you have not booked your room yet, please do book your room.
And on that, anybody who had any problems with the link where it said, hey, there's no rooms available, that means that there was one room or one night a room wasn't available during your block. I talked to the hotel. We have opened up additional rooms that are available. And because I asked them really, really nicely, they extended the deadline, not by much. So pretty much here's the deal. If you book before Christmas, you'll get the discount. If you wake up Christmas morning and you did not make your reservation and Santa didn't bring you one, guess what? You're paying full price, and there's not a whole lot that I'm going to be able to do to help. If you're one of the performers who is like, hey, something just opened up, I had a show cancel, I booked a flight, I can come in. There are kind of those extenuating circumstances that I at least have a leg to stand on. But just, whoopsie, I forgot this wasn't important. It's going to be a tough sale. So basically, before Christmas morning or up until Christmas Eve, it's like a $55 American is what they hold, I think, for the first night. And if you look at the pricing on the website, that's going to say average of $100 a night. Look right underneath it in that small print that says all of your resort fees, taxes, and everything is included. And you will know that every dollar that you're going to pay for your entire stay before you book. So, and if you need to make changes or cancellations 24 hours in advance, it's all refundable. But we want to see you guys there.
Yep, that's exactly it. We actually want to be there with you. And speaking of being there with you, our guest will actually be there with us.
Yes,
which is really cool.
And another quick caveat: if you do not book through the discount link that we give you, there's nothing we can do to help you. If you go through Expedia, hotels.com, any of the other third-party stuff, that is between you, them, and our heavenly creator. So that's our disclaimer. So, but we have some type of control over what we are in charge of.
Yep.
So that being said,
and I will say this, because I'm dealing with this through the airlines. I was trying to make a change, and they messed things up royally. So I have some work to do. And you're right; it takes a lot of legwork to get back to square one. So you might as well start at square one, book it, and then you have it.
Yeah. And again, if you guys run into any problems, message me, message Sean. If you message Grant, there's a 50-50 if he's going to look at stuff, because that man is running around the plains
Message
of Canada.
me or message Brian.
Yeah.
We're boots on the ground for that sort of thing.
Go into the Performing Hypnosis event on Facebook, tag us that says, hey, and let us know, like, hey, I sent you a message. That way it'll give me a notification, so that if we're not already friends on Facebook for whatever reason, I can go into the message requests and we can go, deal with that. We've already had to do that with a couple of people. So we're here to help and make things easy, because we want to see you guys there. But now we've got a guest.
There we go. Absolutely. Yep, we do. And so I'm going to pull up his bio, because
it's like we got checklists and we're organized.
Well, it seems to me that the last thing that we did as a larger group was I created the show checklist that Jim never followed.
Imagine how that works.
Isn't that about right?
I think that's par for the course.
Yep. That sounds like Jim. So our guest tonight is a veteran illusionist, entertainer, and strategist with over 3 decades of experience touring with one of Canada's largest magic productions. He's going to tell us all about it, and it is super cool. Known for combining precision stagecraft with sharp business acumen, our guest has performed thousands of shows while mastering the art of sponsorship, partnerships, and audience psychology at scale. Since stepping back from full-time touring, he's focused on mentoring performers, speakers, and professionals, kind of sounds like hypnotists, on how to create impact, secure support, deliver results when the spotlight is on. And today he is going to bring that same clarity and real world insight. Oh boy, say that 3 times really fast. The same clarity and real world insight into our conversation. So please welcome to the Hypnosis Hero Podcast, Mr. Claude Haggerty.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much. And I look forward to being in Vegas with you guys as well. And I've already got my ticket and I've already got my room. So I am fully committed. As a performer, getting yourself sponsored gives you tremendous, tremendous advantages. And I'd like to talk just a few minutes about what some of those advantages might be. First of all, many times we find ourselves in a position where we are competing with other entertainers to get the gig. It might be a fair, festival, corporate gig. So we as marketers, we would contact your organization and say, what are you looking for and what's your budget? So let's say we're performing at a festival. So all the magicians and hypnotists and comedians will call in, and they'll find out they're looking for 2 shows on Friday and 2 shows on Saturday, and their budget's $4,000. So all the entertainers will send in their bids just below that magic number, $399, $3,975, $3,950, just under that magic number. Most would not have the cojones to send in a bid double, triple that, saying, yeah, I know your budget's $4,000, but pay me $7,500 because I'm worth it, even though that's probably a pretty good strategy. The fair board or the festival board will look at all of those offers, and they would pick one. And the other 47 entries, sorry, so sad, we picked one. Because there's not a whole lot to distinguish one from the other. Sure, the acts are different, and they all have their unique little twists. But to the fair board, they don't understand the ins and outs of what we do and how we do it. All they're looking for is someone who can come perform for their crowd during those time frames. I have discovered a way of getting that gig almost 100% of the time. And here's what I would do. When I send them my proposal, there's 2 proposals side by each. Option A is exactly what they're looking for. I'll do the 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, exactly what your budget is. That's option A. But here's option B. What if I could do a publicity stunt about a week before your event? Something newsworthy, like a blindfold drive or a miracle prediction, or you're going to hypnotize the mayor or do something newsworthy. What if I was able to add a grand finale to my show, maybe an extra show, something over and above what your budget would allow? Some big illusion or some, again, if it's a hypnotist type of show, offer some kind of a bonus. Like what if you went in and did an extra show for all their vendors and all their media people over and above? What if you could go to 5 or 6 local high schools, perform a show at the high school, invite all those students back to see you at the fair or festival? And what if all those extras didn't cost the fair or festival an extra penny? The publicity stunt, me doing the extra shows, me going to those elementary schools or high schools. What if I could get that part sponsored? It won't cost you an extra dime. How could they pick any other performer? How could they forego that? That value is so valuable to them. So we're not selling entertainment. We're selling that if I could double, triple, quadruple your attendance by doing some of these things over and above, and if it didn't cost you an extra penny, why would they pick anybody else? That's the advantage of getting sponsorship. And what I was able to do by doing that simple strategy is averaging 2,500 to 5,000 in sponsors on every time I walked on stage over and above what my clients would pay for me. So my client's budget was no longer a concern. If they didn't have the money, that's okay. I've got the whole thing sponsored if I wanted to. I remember one night being in Kingston here in Ontario, going to the fair board, presented to them my show, and it was a $5,000 price tag, and they said, we can't afford it. So I said, go get it sponsored. And they were saying, hey, we've already tried sponsorship. We went out, we saw 100 businesses or every business in town. Brian went to 10 businesses, Sean went to 10 businesses, John went to 10 businesses. So all the businesses are approached. There is no sponsorship money here. So they declined my offer. You can't perform here. We're going to turn you down. So I left this meeting. There's about 12 or 13 of them there on the board. So I walk out, and before I get in my car, I look across the street, and there are 3 little mom and pop businesses. They're pretty small. My first thought was they're too small. Then I was thinking, well, they probably can't afford me anyways. And I was thinking, well, they've probably already been approached. And then I say what I always say. I will not prejudge. I will not prejudge. I will not prejudge. Walk across the street. There's one little video store called King Kong Video. King Kong. Still have the mascot there. And since I use lions and tigers and jaguars in my show, I thought, well, that's a cool fit. Their mascot's a gorilla. Here I am with a big cat. So it's a stretch. But I walk over, talk to him for 17 minutes. And he writes me a check for $2,000 to sponsor me at the fair. So I take his check. I said, I'll be right back. So I'm going to go across the street, represent this, and I'll be back with a yes, or I'll be back with your check. He said, okay, I'll do that. So I walk across the street. The meeting's still in progress. I walk in like Columbo. Excuse me, pardon me, one more thing. They're like, we already dismissed you. Like, how can we help you? So you gentlemen told me there's no sponsorship money available, yet I walk across the street, talk to one business, and here's $2,000. They're like, we went and talked to that business, and he gave us $50. I said, you didn't ask him the way I did now, did you? Mm-hmm. You went there for a donation. You went there for help. Can you help us? I went there saying, what if you and I could mutually profit by not only helping each other, but what if we could really impact the fair? You'll make money, I'll make money, and we'll support the fair. Would you be open to that conversation? He said, damn right. We worked out a win-win. I go across the fair. I show them the check. They re-voted 12 to accept, 0 to defeat. And being able to do that my whole life. And most entertainers never really think about that kind of a sponsorship idea of being able to get 2,500 to 5,000 over and above what your clients will pay you. The second advantage it gives you is if you can be self-funded, you can perform whenever you want, wherever you want, as often as little as you want. Brian, you're from Seattle, correct? Seattle area?
I live in the greater Seattle area now. I'm from Southern California.
Okay. I've never been there.
Yeah.
Brian, but here's the thing. I could contact your local fire department, say, hey, you don't know me and I don't know you, but I'm coming to California in August, and Brian Bay and I are going to do a little performance, and we're going to donate 50% of all our ticket sales to a local cause. Mr. Fire Department, if you say yes, we're going to donate the money to you, and if you say no, we're going to donate it to somebody else. They're like, see you guys on April 10th or whatever it may be. They don't ask any other questions. So my clients don't pay me, I pay them. And since I'm able to perform pretty much self-funded, I chose to work with nonprofit groups as often as I could. Mm-hmm. I grew up in 4 foster homes. I studied most of my life, and I understand the importance of being able to work with nonprofit groups. You know, and here's the thing, okay? You could go to any city and walk down Main Street, and you'll see 2 groups of people on each side of the street. On one side of the street, you see all these nonprofit groups, and they're on their hands and knees praying for a miracle. Mm-hmm. They will tell you there's more people hungry, homeless, abused, addicted since COVID than ever before. The food bank will tell you that they turn away hundreds of families every single week because they don't have enough food. Okay, so we as performers on the other side of the street are all the performers. They're on their knees praying for gigs. Nobody's hiring us. Everybody's undercutting everybody. Nobody knows the value of what we're doing. And I hear this all day long. There's no gigs out there, no high-paying gigs. Mm-hmm. Many entertainers have tried to partner with nonprofit groups in the past, and there was a little hiccup, and they got along. And here it is. As an entertainer, how do we morally go to a nonprofit group and say, pay me an extra $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Just pay me extra. Mm-hmm. Morally, it's kind of hard to take money knowing that money was going to children or cancer or seniors or somebody who needs it maybe more than we do. I found it morally challenging. On the other hand, a nonprofit group, imagine what that would be like if they said, hey, Brian, we'll just pay an extra $1,000. We'll just call out these $100 bills, tell me when to stop. How could they morally do that as well? So there was a conflict there. What I'm saying, there should be a third partner, and that's your local sponsors. Mm-hmm. That changes everything. So now this is a win-win-win community cross-promotion. We as an entertainer not only get paid, we get paid $2,500 to $5,000, probably over and above what we normally would have been paid. Mm-hmm. Our sponsorship income, and we can be very generous with this nonprofit group. So what I have done in every city, I keep 100% of my sponsorship money, and I donate 50% of my ticket sales to a local cause.
And this is if you four-wall or if you are doing like a ticket.
Either one. I've done maybe 4,000 4-walls so far. Okay. I get my venues all sponsored, my marketing all sponsored, my motel rooms all sponsored, my meals all sponsored, and I'll have $2,500 to $5,000 in the bank before I even sell one ticket. Mm-hmm. So most don't do it that way. Most go out, rent the hall, try to promote it on their own, and most of them have a tough time. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. Most nonprofit groups, they have thousands of followers who want to support that cause. They just want to just donate money. It'd be nice to get something out of it. So we as entertainers get highly rewarded. The nonprofit groups gets funds and awareness with no risk. Mm-hmm. And our local sponsors get access to that cause and all their followers to, hopefully many of them will become customers, because if a business was supporting you and your cause, why would you not want to support that business back? Mm-hmm. Win-win, super simple. And when we spend our time in Vegas, I'm going to share with you step by step how I make this happen in every community, how I'm able to, I feel very confident you could drop me in a helicopter anywhere in North America, and within 3 or 4 hours, I'll have a venue sponsored. I'll have a nonprofit group looking to partner with me, and I'll have 1,000 to 2,500 in my pocket, probably within a few hours,
Mhm.
in any city at any time. To me, that's freedom. And that's some of the things I look forward to sharing with those who gather in Vegas with us.
So I've got a question.
Sure.
You talked about, hey, I called up insert fire department here.
Yeah.
That just says all you have to do is say yes. I would imagine you're asking them to do something too. Like you're either asking them to advertise the event, help get the word out, sell tickets, or at least, hey, go to this website to
Sure.
purchase your tickets.
There's different ways, depending on what their commitment may be. First of all, I'd like to comment that on any given event, I could have 5 or 6 different nonprofit groups who are participating.
Yeah.
Some of them are going to work on a 50-50 ticket split with me, that they're going to help me to not go out in the community to sell tickets, but they're going to offer this experience to their own members. Boys and Girls Club, the firefighters, the dance club, whoever it may be, will just invite their own followers to come and participate and celebrate with us.
Yeah.
So it's not a selling tickets. It's got a little different slant to it. We're inviting them to participate, to serve a cause that we mutually care about.
One way or another, you're trying to drive traffic.
Sure.
To put butts in seats.
And the more they help us, the more we're able to donate back to them.
Mm-hmm.
We might go to the veterans, and maybe they have 17 veterans, and rather than asking them to sell tickets, what if we gave them free tickets where those 17 veterans could come and enjoy this experience at no charge? Okay.
Run that one more time. You started and then whatever
so
technology.
I think it froze up their bed. So, for example, some of the groups we work with, they may work on where they're going to be monetarily rewarded as a percentage of tickets. We might have other groups like veterans. We might invite them to come out, have fun with us, give them free tickets, a free experience. They're not going to get any money, but that's how we serve that group. Maybe the Boys and Girls Club is running the canteen and the snack bar, and they're going to keep 100% of all that profit. And by the way, what if I could get all that food donated to them by a local sponsor, their hot dogs and the popcorn? So now every penny they make, they can keep. We create these win-win opportunities, and sponsorship certainly makes it possible.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Okay, and here's the other thing too. Like I was able to get 1,000 real estate agents to send me 1,000 each. That was a good idea. It generated $1 million right there. I never could have got a 10,000 or 20,000 or 50,000 sponsor, but getting 1,000 realtors in 1,000 communities was pretty easy, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we involved them. Many of my sponsors I would make magically appear, or we find win ways to help them gain from this as well, right?
That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it's just everybody out there, we all have good shows. We all there to make a difference. And I'm not saying you have to go with a nonprofit group. You can perform wherever you want. You can do this to corporate or any other thing. All I'm saying, if you had the wherewithal to generate your own pay, you could perform whenever you wanted, as much or often as you wanted. Why not benefit nonprofit groups if you can? That's all.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the things that. Being a Shriner myself, I kind of find myself, yelling and screaming, going, why are we only marketing to like the Masonic community? We put on an event that has overhead that we have to pay to, that then we're also going to have to, spend our time setting it. It's like, we would almost be better off just going, hey, we need $150 from everybody. Boom.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Exactly.
And I'm going, why aren't we getting, we run enough revenue through our bank. Why are we not teaming up with our community partners and bringing in public money? Because, we've got 100-acre course. and the temple building and all the rental venue rental facilities and stuff like that. It's like there are people that there are tens of thousands of people who drive by the golf course every day and they think it's a country club, and nobody and they're like, we've lived here 20 years. We had no idea that this was open to the public.
I once did a show and I work with all kinds of groups, but one night I did a show for an Optimist group, and it was in a small city, and their membership had dwindled over the years from about 75 members down to about 9 members. Mm-hmm. And you might find this in Shriners. Most of the clubs will tell you that their membership is dwindling because many of the older folks are retiring or passing on, and many of the young folks don't think about being Kiwanis members or Shriners or Kiwanis or all the other they just don't think of it, right? Not like we did back in our day, right? So I do this show. We worked on a 50-50 ticket split. We brought in about $10,000 in tickets. 5,000 went to them and 5,000 went to me. At the end of the performance, when I was standing on stage, I said, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in this city, and your Optimist Club has 9 volunteers. In the last 3 or 4 years, they built this park, they built this pool, they did this, they run the safety village. Here's all the things they've done with 9 volunteers.
Oh, imagine if they had sometimes those organizations getting volunteers is
right. Okay, so
a stretch.
Imagine if they had a few more volunteers. So, ladies and gentlemen, before you leave here tonight, I want you to go to one of the blue shirts in the back, give them your name and phone number, let them call you, go to one of their meetings and see what they do. And if you have an hour a week or 2 hours a week of free time and you want to make a difference in your community, they would love to have you join in. That's what I said at the end of my performance. About 3 weeks later, they contacted me and said, we have 9 brand new members right after your performance. The $5,000, thank you very much. The 9 brand new members, we would never, ever, ever to be able to repay you for that. You doubled our complete organization. For that, we can never say thanks enough.
Oh, yeah.
Super simple, right? Yeah. So when you do cool things out in the community, I think it helps to attract other people to join your cause as well. But there are realtors, mortgage agents, financial planners, roofing companies. They're always looking for ways to make an impact. And by involving them in the performance, and how we promote them during the performance, before the performance, after the performance, and the people
and if you're lucky to catch them on a good year, their accountant is going, blow some of this money somewhere because you need write-offs for taxes.
Well, that too. But here's the other thing: most of the realtors I work with sold a home as a result of partnering with me. So maybe they give you $1,000 to $2,500, but they sell one home, they could generate $10,000 to $40,000 in commission on one transaction.
Oh yeah.
So, if you have a sponsor and they're at the door, and they're collecting. The other thing I do in every performance is I always involve my local food banks. I discount my admission price for those who bring a non-perishable food item. We turn over to local food banks. So we're collecting food for the food banks. We're helping groups in awareness raise funds on awareness. We go to the elementary schools. We were able to do shows there for free. I went to 8,000 elementary schools for free, and made $200,000 a year from sponsorships by doing so. Do you know that you cannot advertise in a school as a federally protected audience? You're not allowed to advertise in a school.
But by sponsoring, you get around that obstacle.
It's a fine line, yes. But yes,
is that in the United States, or is that a Canada thing?
I believe it's almost anywhere, and it's like working even in some radio stations. They have what they call like underwriting, so you can mention a sponsor. Like, I want to thank John's Towing for helping me to come here today.
Right.
But you can't say John's Towing is the best. They're you call them. You can't give any call to action or anything like that. So what we did, we went to those elementary schools free of charge to the schools, but it was highly sponsored. And we invited those students back to an evening performance a couple of days later, where we did an evening performance that was outside of school time, where we could promote the crap out of our sponsors and our partners, and involving all the different nonprofit groups as well. See, these nonprofit groups, like the schools, the Rotary Club, the firefighters, many of them have their own venues. Many of them already have all their own volunteers. They have their own social networks. And just by partnering in and tying in with those folks, and again, having the sponsors, we get paid very well from the sponsors. We can be very generous with our ticket pricing and how we give that away. Depending on the sponsorships, I could give away 100% of my ticket sales if I chose to, because I already got 5,000 in sponsors already to come and do this. So,
no, that's awesome.
and that's certainly what I hope to talk about in Vegas, a step by step on how to do this. I feel very confident folks will spend 90 minutes with me in Vegas. In 72 hours later, they'll walk out and land a sponsorship. I feel pretty confident that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So this will be a good opportunity to say hi to some of our viewers. So Becca is still feeling a little bit floaty from last time, I guess. Joining us from England. What was it? I'm scrolling.
Cindy?
No. Yeah. There you are. Okay. You're on top of it.
Yep.
Scott King was also running around here, I think.
Oh, I'm sure he's in the background somewhere, just waiting. And of course, Grant is online. He's watching us on.
He's
YouTube.
cold.
And he's just as cold as I am because he's in Saskatoon. He's 3.5 hours away from me for reference purposes. So
if only Grant could check his messages and see the link that was shared. Hashtag foreshadowing again.
Yep. And we've had a few people in our TikTok room as well. Of course, my friend Jen C, who is in the greater Winnipeg area in Manitoba, that province in between, actually in betwixt Claude and I, is here. And we've had Tina was in, Mitch is here, Kieran's been here for a little while, and Fraser Pendon was in for a little bit, and he was joining us from Scotland. So worldwide audience.
Like, it would be so cool to come and do your event in Vegas and have people go home and within a week's time pay for their entire trip just through sponsorships. And that'd be pretty cool. Because once you go out and you land 2,500 to 5,000 for your first gig, you will never do it another way after that. I mean, why would you?
So Grant says that he is now a snowman and trying not to die in the blizzard. So
yeah. This is just a small blizzard, Grant. This is we get much worse later on in the winter.
Well, for him, he's in a rear wheel drive vehicle that only is 2-wheel drive. Not that he has to really go up and down like some crazy hills or anything, but
no, that's not entirely true.
Yeah, talking to him, he was.
We do have hills here. They're just not usually where people drive.
Yeah, I was talking to him. Obviously hands free while he was driving because Canada, and it's like, okay, so I'm just looking for where I'm going, listening to where it tells me, and then it's just like, oh, hold on, and you hear the ABS going, and he's like, slid through that intersection, and we're just gonna punch it. Like, all right, man.
Yeah, I'll show you how fast it's going to work. One of the hypnotists I was working with a while back, his name was Mark Irish. Mark was living in Michigan. He now lives in Florida. But after I worked with Mark went into a grocery store, and he was trying to reach off the shelf to grab something, and Mark is going a bit bald at the back. And when he went to reach off a shelf, someone behind him said, "Hey, Baldy, do you need help with that, Baldy?" So Mark turns around and he says, "Oh my God, it was a total stranger." And this guy's like, "Oh, I thought you were somebody else. I'm so embarrassed." So they got talking, and Mark says, "So what do you do?" And the guy says, "I'm a financial planner." And he said to Mark, "What do you do?" And he said, "I'm a hypnotist, and I travel from city to city. We create win-win community cross promotions where we raise funds and awareness for local causes." The guy said, "Here's my card. Why don't you come by and see me after lunch?" So Mark said, "Sure." So after lunch, Mark goes to this office, and he sits down, and the secretary says, who do I tell him is here? And he said, just tell him Baldy's here. And she says, pardon me? He goes, well, just tell him the bald guy. He'll know who I am. Trust me. We just met a few hours back. So Mark sat down. The guy next to him said, what are you gonna? What's this all about? Mark said, "I'm an hypnotist, and I create win-win community cross promotions where we raise funds and awareness for causes on an ongoing basis." And he says, "Well, if he says yes, you come see me afterwards, because if he does it, I'll do it too." So Mark goes in, talks to the guy for 20 minutes. He gets a $1,500 check. He comes out, calls the second guy he met in the waiting room, who paid him another $1,500, and he generated $3,000 within 90 minutes of bumping into a total stranger in the grocery store.
So what do you think would happen if you got the two guys saying, hey, if one guy says he'll do it, I'll do it as well. You take the $1,500 check, and then you call the other guy and go, hey, I got $1,500 from your buddy, but he also said that you don't have the stones to give me $2,000.
And here's the thing, okay? There's different ways of doing this. And here's the thing. We don't have to treat all sponsors exactly the same. How I give this realtor value may be different than how I give this pizza shop value. And it may be different than how I give the venue a return on their investment. And that's some of the things we'll talk about in Vegas too, and how to customize these so they are getting exactly what they wanted. When I talked about that video store, I found out exactly how I could help them. And this is something that was so simple to execute. It was so successful that the second year, the video store gave me $5,000. And the third year, they gave me $5,000 sponsorship, and they paid for the tent, like a 300-person tent. They paid for over and above to be able to sponsor my particular act, right?
Uh-huh. So. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Should be fun in Vegas. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. Vegas is going to be a good time for sure.
Yeah. It's, we've done this now. This is our fourth year. Our first year, of course, was just the kind of the tail end of COVID and the pandemic. And so we actually did a fully online event, which went swimmingly well. For our first attempt, and when we were able to get boots on the ground that second year, it was even better. And then things developed, last year and this year. It's growth over time. It's adding people like you with different experiences, different ideas, and like you said, a completely different way of doing things, and so that's that helps us grow as well, as a conference and as a group, because I think you are right. This area, this type of business transaction is probably very underutilized by
1,000,000%. Yes.
Yeah.
And to me, it all comes down to freedom. The freedom to work when you want, where you want, as often as little as you want, with those that you choose to work with as little as often as you want, and not having to take a gig because it's low fee or undercutting folks or anything like that. So
oh my God! What the British are here.
Yes, well, I can actually say that the British are here.
Normally I would say the red hoodies are coming, but Grant's got a black one on.
It was,
and we're not allowed to say that nowadays.
Yes, I did not want to miss this with Claude. I've been really looking forward to this, and really looking forward to connecting with you in Vegas as well. But what I loved is I kind of had it on in the car whilst I was driving. Bear in mind, quick note. I was out this afternoon in the blizzard, and I thought, you know what, I'm British. This is not too bad at all. So I thought about an hour ago, you know what, I'll nip the 4-minute journey to get myself a latte and get ready for this stream. Here's the thing. Grant's not meant to buy blizzard.
Canada said, hold my maple syrup.
Yeah, pretty much. And so I got stuck 3 times. I don't have the ground clearance in this little Mercedes. At one point, the snow was so I just couldn't see in front of me. But the whole time, I'm also concentrating on what's being said in here, because Claude, I will say, dropping absolute gold and a really underutilized element of kind of performance. So,
And Joe's towing. Grant's going, send him to this location. I've got my GPS.
I appreciate that, Grant, and I look forward to coming. And I retired back in 2018. I was able to perform 11,000 gigs,
oh, wow.
and I look forward to sharing with you folks on how to think about gigs a little differently, and how to not only make a good living, but use your skills to really make an impact in your communities.
Yeah.
Of folks who desperately need us. So
you said it a few moments ago, just as I was getting in and trying to connect and restructuring my hair. And you said exactly what I believe is like the ethos of the summit. You said you want people to come away from this summit within a short space of time and dramatically change their hypnosis business, to come away with sponsors within weeks. That's, it's great for everyone to get together and have a jolly and meet friends. That's fine. But, the summit's always been about, we are lone wolves a lot of the time, getting together with people like yourself that are, that have walked the talk, that have done the goods, that know what they're talking about, and that are happy to share that knowledge as well. So yeah, really, really pleased.
And if you're able to generate a bunch of sponsorship money, that's like, okay, now you're going to bring your friend who does, photography and videography, and now you get to go travel with your buddy.
Exactly.
And it's you're locking in the client as well, because they've suddenly got a sponsor for their event. It locks you into the community, it locks you in with the client. It's a really clever move.
I'd like to thank John Sabrone as well. I know John spoke at your conference last year. John, right after his conference, he emailed me and said, you need to talk to these guys in Vegas. You need to get down there. You need to share this with him. So I'd like to thank, and I think John is speaking as well. So, and John also has a ton of experience as a hypnotist. So I'm looking forward to being there, working with John, sharing everything I can, in coming to do a 90-minute killer presentation where you walk away and you'll be able to go land a sponsor pretty much immediately. So
brilliant. That's awesome. And yeah, John's nickname is John Freaking Sabone. Whenever you ask the question, and it's like the answer is always yes to you, John, because you're John Freaking Sabone. So yeah.
It's gonna be fun. So if you haven't got your tickets, go get them. Do what you got to do. Get yourself there, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So
yeah, cool. Really, really excited. What sports team is that behind you there, Claude? Is it a sports team, the red and blue?
The Montreal Canadiens.
Montreal Canadiens. Yeah. Are you a Leaf fan, or are you probably not a hockey fan? But I'm a Montreal fan, and I travel a lot now. I just come back from Pittsburgh, seeing the game, and going to Montreal, and I was hoping that Montreal would be playing in Vegas that particular weekend, but they're coming the weekend. I think while we're there, Vegas is playing in Montreal. I was hoping to be the other way around, but maybe next year.
Yeah, we were hoping that they would have a Sunday night game, because that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, I got a chance to perform for the Edmonton Oilers twice with Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier. I opened West Edmonton Mall for 140,000 people for the Gramasians. And again, when they opened West Edmonton Mall, 2,000 entertainers sent in a bid.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
The candidate that was selected would perform there for 140,000 people. I got that gig.
Nice.
With some ideas that I'm going to share with you in Vegas and how I made that happen. So
love it. Yeah. A great hook there as well. That's going to draw them in.
Mike Brody already said, I want to go to Claude's class. And yeah, that's exactly it. You have a specialized knowledge. You've developed it over time. And that hook right there was exactly what people need. It's like, no, you come, you're going to benefit. And by the way, look at what has already, transpired. Opening if you've never been to the West Edmonton Mall, and Grant's only been to Edmonton twice.
Yes.
In his life, but if you've never been to the West Edmonton Mall, it is, I believe, the second largest mall now, because didn't they build a bigger one in Minneapolis or something like the Mall of America?
When they built the Mall of America, the same owners, West Edmonton Mall, they actually duplicated that mall as the Mall of America, I think you call it, in Minneapolis. But I was, about 9 or 10 months before the event, I started mapping out my strategy. Like, how do you stand apart from the 2,000 other entertainers?
Yeah.
Like, there were some very, very good entertainers that way beyond me, like magic wise. Like, I won't mention any names, but there were some very famous magicians after that gig. And I'm just a little old Claude Haggerty from a little small town in Ontario. But my proposal was different than any proposal on that table. I'll trust you that. And I certainly got their attention. And I knew going in that I would have probably a 90% chance of making that happen. I also kind of stumbled on a niche. I've been a race fan my whole life. A couple of my employees used to race. And last year, I helped 250 race teams to land sponsorships as a bit of a test to see what would happen. I'm a magician. I don't know nothing about racing. But we took 100 race teams. I helped them for 6 hours, and we did 1.8 million in sponsors with 6 hours of training.
Wow.
I wrote a book that was #1 on Amazon for racing. And the only reason I wanted to work with race teams is to sharpen my sponsorship skills, because racing and sponsorships go like that. And I probably worked with 200 teams this year. And I work with race teams. I make a lot of money working with race teams. They pay me extremely, extremely well. The average race team is spending $50,000 to $100,000 out of pocket every summer out of their own pocket. I help them to reduce that by 50 to 100%. But my real passion is help entertainers to go out and make a difference in their community. There are children who are hungry. There are veterans living on the street who can't even buy shoelaces. There's more people addicted, homeless, and abused since COVID than ever before. And we as entertainers have a vehicle where we can help them get what they want, and we can make a damn good living in the process. If that's of interest, come see us in Vegas. So,
Awesome.
100%.
Yeah. I'm excited, really excited for this.
thank you, guys. And gentlemen, I appreciate the opportunity to be on your podcast, and I appreciate the opportunity to share some insights in Vegas with all of you to help you to maybe look at this a little differently. You already got the talent, you already got the shows, so you've already got all that part. But let me help you look at the business side a little differently. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So,
fantastic.
Yeah, that's so. Grant, how are things going on your end, man?
How do you mean on my end? Are you flirting, Brian?
On your end of things, how's your tour going? How's your experience?
Yeah, it's really good. I've got 3 shows left, which is nice. So two shows Friday, a show Saturday, and then Christmas party, and then home time. It's been a crazy run of shows, and I will say this: I'll shout out to Corey, a great booker, a great agent, and great hypnotist as well. I did see his show for the first time the other day, and very different from a lot of the things I've seen before. A great hypnotist, and one that doesn't shout all over social media. You know me, Brian and Sean. I'm a social media guy. I think everyone's got to be out there. Corey does a great job of, I'll say, serious bookings without being all over social media. For me, it's baffling. And it's a lot of people say they're doing really well, but I can absolutely testify. He's kind of going, do you want to come over and do a couple of shows? And he has worked me, but it's been fantastic to work alongside him as well. Collaboration. And again, this is something that was born out of the conference. A conversation I had at that first in-person one, and it's all good stuff.
Well, I must have missed something. Stacy says, but has he gone to hell? I don't know what. I'm not sure if that's.
No, it's too cold here, Stacy.
Oh, okay. I was like, is that in reference to Grant going to Edmonton? Like, I know that was a bit of a drive.
Yeah.
And it's you really have to love Edmonton and oil fields too.
Isn't hell a town? Is that not a town nearby?
Oh my God, that's fair. That could be.
I think it is. I think because I remember having a conversation with Michael Brody about Gaylord in Michigan. There's a Gaylord in Michigan, and I believe there is a hell near there as well. So I think that is what it is. So yeah,
Well, with this weather, hell may have frozen over.
that's true.
Which
Oh no, it's cold, but it's not that cold yet.
Yes,
But it's warm in Vegas.
That's right.
yeah.
We'll be warm in Vegas.
When I first talked to Sean said, you can do this virtually and give up going to 100-degree weather? Are you kidding me? That was a pretty easy decision. Sean invited me. I bought my ticket in my rooms within 20 minutes afterwards. I'm like, hope you guys are still doing this because I already bought my ticket and my room. So
nice.
Yep.
But I'm really looking forward to being there in January with all of you.
Cool. It's been fantastic.
Yeah. All right. So we will end it off here. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks, Grant, for Iceman for popping in.
Actually, Sean, I've got an announcement. And Grant, I think I've been trying to get a hold of you on this. I received word back from Mark Savard. We have friends and family discount codes for Monday night's show, and it is a very generous offer.
Nice.
For what they are offering. So I will make sure that I get the information up on the website. Again, Grant, we need to huddle and finalize our extracurricular schedule. But yeah, we're going to plan on seeing Michael Deschalet's magic show at Silver Sevens. We're planning on seeing Kevin Lepine's Hypnosis Unleashed. And we're also planning on seeing Mark Savard's show on Monday evening on the 26th. So if you're able to hang in and fly out like Tuesday morning or something like that, awesome. And we've got Tommy G. Orlando doing certification post-conference training following the conference. So
yeah, I'm excited for that as well. And again, when we talk about like people coming away with real value, you know, Tom Silver, who didn't go to a lot of conferences, was a big supporter of PHS last year. You know, and that's where the kind of Tom Silver Foundation came full circle. And this is their first, I believe, certification class as the Tom Silver Foundation. And so it's really nice that they've kind of offered to do it at PHS. So, and Tom had some amazing inductions for stage guys. So yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Cool. I have got an extra special thing, but I'll speak to you guys about it offline as well. So I think we've got something else that might be quite interesting. But yeah, cool.
Fantastic.
All right. We will end it off here. Thank you again for joining us on this PHS Primer, Claude, and we look forward to seeing you in Vegas.
Maybe we'll chat in January before the event.
So, yes, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Get a hold of Joe Beth. I think Sean sent you an email with links and stuff in there.
Yeah.
To speak on, you know, another opportunity to speak, maybe even a little chat with Dan Goyette. So
I think Joe Beth would be a great contact for you as well, Claude. You know, especially with the sponsorship stuff. It's you guys are very much aligned.
Yeah.
Sure. Any way I can help you between now and then, you know how to find me. So I'm here to help. So
yeah, start sharing the website and the link from Facebook.
Sure.
So we'll, yeah. So we're looking forward to seeing you. And if we don't talk to you between now and the conference, you know, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and most importantly is safe travels.
Same to you guys, and I'll see you in Vegas.
Awesome.
Good.
Take care.
Don't be late. Don't be late. I'll be looking for you guys. Okay. Take care.